Hello students, in this video I will be discussing about the different kinds of quadrilaterals. So all of you know by this time that what is a quadrilateral? A closed polygon having four sides. Now what are the different kinds based on their shapes? Okay, see here, the first one is called trapezium. Now what is a trapezium? It is a quadrilateral in which one pair of opposite sides is parallel. This is the symbol which shows that this and this line segments means these two sides are parallel. This is the symbol of parallel. Okay, so by this symbol we can say that this is parallel to this. So in trapezium, one pair of opposite sides is only parallel. Okay, we cannot say anything about the other two sides, just the restriction is that one pair of opposite sides has to be parallel. Now kite, here see in kite this and this, these two adjacent sides will be equal and these two adjacent sides will be equal. So what is a kite? It is a quadrilateral in which exactly two consecutive pairs of sides are equal. Okay, two pairs of consecutive sides are equal. Now coming to parallelogram. What is a parallelogram? A parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which each pair of opposite sides is parallel. Means this is one pair of opposite sides, this is parallel to, I have given the symbol for equal to. Okay, this has to be parallel. When we define parallelogram, we have to say that they are parallel. Okay, they will be equal but it comes under its property. Okay, this is parallel to this and this is parallel to this. So a quadrilateral in which each pair of opposite sides is parallel is called a parallelogram. Now we know about these three types of quadrilaterals. Now under parallelogram there are some specific types of parallelogram. Okay, different kinds of parallelogram again. One is the rhombus, then rectangle, then square. Now what is a rhombus? It is a special type of parallelogram in which all the sides are equal. See, when I am saying that it is a parallelogram, it means that this is parallel to this is parallel to this. Okay. Now in this rhombus, one thing is extra, that is we can say that it is a parallelogram in which all the sides are equal. When we say parallelogram, it doesn't signify that all the sides are equal, only each pair of opposite sides will be parallel. Okay, here each pair of opposite sides equal. Here in rhombus, each of the side is of the same measure, means this is equal to this and this is equal to this. So a rhombus is a parallelogram whose all the sides are of equal measure. Now what is a rectangle? It is a parallelogram in which all the angles are of measure 90 degree, or we can just say in which one angle is of each angle, or you can say that one angle is of measure 90 degree. Now why we say that one angle is of 90 degree? If one angle is 90 degree, all the other angles will be 90 degree. Why? Because there are some properties of a parallelogram that I will be discussing. Okay, in a parallelogram, each of the opposite angles is equal, means this angle will be equal to this angle and this angle will be equal to this angle. So in a rectangle, if one angle is 90 degree, other opposite angle will be 90 degree, and adjacent angles in a parallelogram is 180 degree supplementary. So this is 90, means this has to be 90 degree. So all angles will be 90 degree. Now square, what is a square? It is a parallelogram, or you can say it is a rhombus in fact, isn't it? Rhombus means what? It is a parallelogram whose all sides are equal. So our square is a rhombus whose each angle is of measure 90 degree. Clear? So there are some basic small differences between these different parallelograms. It is a parallelogram whose all sides are equal. It is a parallelogram whose all the angles are of measure 90 degree. It is a rhombus whose all angle is of measure 90 degree. Now we have learnt about the different types of quadrilaterals. What about their properties? Okay, so in case of trapezium, we know that one pair of opposite sides will be parallel. In case of kite, from the definition it is clear that two consecutive pairs of sides will be equal. 1, 2. These two consecutive sides will be equal. Consecutive adjacent consecutive sides will be, two pairs of consecutive sides will be equal. Now what about their diagonals? Okay, see, if I am drawing the diagonal, then always remember that the diagonals will be intersecting each other at 90 degree. Okay, they will be perpendicular to each other. One property. Another one is that one diagonal is going to bisect the other. Only one diagonal. This diagonal, this the bigger one, is going to bisect the smaller one. Okay, this will, one diagonal will bisect the other. But in case of parallelogram, both the diagonals bisect each other. I am not saying each other. One diagonal will be bisecting the other. Okay, so now coming to parallelogram. In case of parallelogram, you have to remember that when we define parallelogram, it means that each pair of opposite sides is parallel, but properties means each pair of opposite side will be opposite sides are equal. We can just write opposite sides equal. Okay, this is one property, means this will be equal to this and this will be equal to this. Opposite sides equal. Opposite angles will be equal. This angle will be equal to this and this angle will be equal to this angle. Two properties gone. Third one, adjacent angles will be supplementary. Now why do we say that adjacent angles supplementary? Okay, I am writing some of the properties here. Okay, in case of parallelogram, what will happen? Parallelogram, opposite sides equal. Number 2, opposite angles equal. Number 3, adjacent angles are supplementary. Supplementary means the sum of the two angles will be supplementary, will be 180 degree. And number 4, supplementary, why I am saying this one? Because see, adjacent angles means this angle and this angle, or you can say this angle and this angle. So any two adjacent angles will be supplementary, because this plus this will be 180 degree. Similarly, this plus this will be 180 degree, this plus this will be 180 degree, this plus this will be 180 degree. Now you may think how it has come, how we can say that these are supplementary. See, in a parallelogram, this angle is equal to this. Suppose this is x and this is x, and we know that this angle is equal to this. So this x, this y. Now what we know about the sum of all the angles? See, 2x and 2y has to be 360 degree. So ultimately 2x and 2y plus 2y gives you 360 degree. It means that x plus y is equal to 180 degree. I have taken 2 common, then we can find it out. Okay, so ultimately what did we get? X plus y, this is also x plus y, this is also x plus y, this is also x plus y. So sum of the adjacent angles will be equal to 180 degree. Okay, so that's why we can say that adjacent angles are supplementary. Now what about the diagonals? If we draw the diagonals of a parallelogram, they will bisect each other. What do we mean by saying this? Bisect each other. In case of kite, it was different. One diagonal was bisecting other, but here both the diagonals will be bisecting each other. Okay, suppose ABCD is our parallelogram. They are intersecting at O. Then this will be equal to this and this will be equal to this. Means AO equal to OC and OB is equal to OD. It doesn't mean that AC and BD are equal. Okay, they are not equal, but AO is equal to OC and OB is equal to OD. So we can say that diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. Okay, so these are the properties of a parallelogram. Now coming to the rhombus, since it is a parallelogram, so it will be holding all the properties of a parallelogram with some additional points will be there, that in case of rhombus all the sides will be equal and the diagonals will be bisecting perpendicularly. Means in case of rhombus, when we draw the diagonals, no, they will be bisecting at each other at 90 degree. Okay. In case of rectangle, it will, since it is also a parallelogram, it will also hold all the properties of a rectangle with one additional point. That one is that each angle of the parallelogram will be of 90 degree measure, or you can just say that one angle is a right angle. A parallelogram is in case of rectangle, each angle is of measure 90 degree. Okay. If one angle is 90 degree, all angles will be 90 degree. Now what about the diagonals? The diagonals will be bisecting each other definitely, but one additional point will be that the diagonals will be of equal measure. In case of rectangle, the diagonals will be of equal measure. Now coming to square, since a square is a rhombus and a rhombus is a parallelogram, we can say that in case of square, the diagonals will be bisecting each other perpendicularly because it is a rhombus, so it will hold the properties of a rhombus. One additional thing is that how a square is different from a rhombus. In case of square, the diagonals will be of equal measure, which is not in case of rhombus. Okay. In case of square, the diagonals will be of equal measure and all the angles are of measure 90 degree. So with that, we have understood the entire concept of the different kinds of quadrilaterals.